Good evening. The time now is 11 p.m. Tonight's top story. Anti-party hopping law takes effect tomorrow. Sarawak and Sabah MPs support the call for the formation of Borneo CAUSUS, and North Korea conducts longest-range missile tests over Japan. Hello there, you're now with me, Double Talit, and this is TVS Nightline. We begin with our top story. The anti-party hopping law, which prohibits members of parliament from switching parties, will come into force tomorrow, October 5th. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Parliament and Law, Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar said the Constitution Amendment had obtained the consent of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong and on August 31st and was gazetted as Act 1963 on September 6th.
Akta ini mendapat keberkenan Kebawah Duli Yang Maha Mulia Sri Paduka Baginda Yang di-Pertuan Agong bagi tarikh kuat kuasa pada 5 Oktober 2022 dan selaras dengan Seksyen 1 Braket 2 dan Seksyen 1 Braket 3 Akta A1663. Dan akta ini juga telah digazetkan pelaksanaan baru sekejap tadi. Ya. Jadi saya janji sampai di hadapan saudara-saudara sekalian, janji saya sudah tepati sekarang.
On July 28, the Dewan Rakyat passed the anti-party hopping bill with more than a two-thirds majority. Later, on August 9th, the bill obtained the support of 52 of 60 senators through block voting. Wan Junaidi said with the enforcement of the Act, MPs who leave their parties will lose their membership. He said a letter from Prime Minister Dato Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob will be sent to all states to request the state governments to standardize and adopt the amendments that have been enacted under Schedule 8 of the Federal Constitution in their respective states.
Members of Parliament from Sabah and Sarawak have thrown in their support for the formation of a Borneo CAUSUS to cooperate politically in a single voice pertaining to matters such as the Malaysia Agreement 1963 and the incoming Prime Minister of the day.
Speaking at the sidelines of the Parliament sitting in Kuala Lumpur on Tuesday, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Sabah and Sarawak Affairs, Dato Sri Maximus Ongkili said among the issues raised during a special briefing for the Borneo States MPs is on the seat increase proposal. Additionally, he said the Bornean MPs also touched on the possibility to institutionalize the Sabah and Sarawak Affairs Division to offer a permanent framework to implement all its work, including looking into the formation of a parliamentary select committee to pursue the recommendations of the Special Council on MA63. Calling it a history in the making, Ongkili said the decision were raised due to public interest of both regions. Also present at the briefing was Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Parliament and Law, Dato Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar, who briefed the MPs on the legal aspects of certain issues.
Japan warned its citizens to take cover as train services were suspended while the missile passed over its north before the North Korea test-fired ballistic missile fell into the Pacific Ocean. It was the first North Korean missile to follow such a trajectory since 2017, and its estimated 4,600-kilometer range was the longest traveled by a North Korean test missile.
In response to the test, U.S. and South Korean warplanes practiced bombing drills in the Yellow Sea.
これまでの弾道ミサイル等の度重なる発射も含め、一連の北朝鮮の行動は、我が国、地域及び国際社会の平和と安全を脅かすものであり、我が国を含む国際社会全体にとっての深刻な挑戦です。また、このような弾道ミサイル発射は、関連する安保理決議に違反するものです。
The United States strongly condemned North Korea's dangerous and reckless launch. And according to National Security Council spokesperson Adrian Watson, the launch violates UN Security Council resolutions which have imposed sanctions on North Korea's nuclear and missile programs. In the U.S. and South Korean response to the North Koreans' test on Tuesday, a South Korean Air Force F-15K jet dropped a pair of guided bombs on a target of its west coast, in what South Korea's military called a demonstration of precision strike capability against the source of North Korean provocations. Japan said it took no steps to shoot the missile down, but Defense Minister Yasukazu Hamada said it would not rule out any options, including counterattack capabilities, as it looks to strengthen its defenses in the face of repeated missile launches from North Korea. South Korea also said it would boost its military and increase allied cooperation.
Matters pertaining to the agreement for the federal government to return a percentage of tax revenue collected from the state are being finalized. Thus, the appointment of a Sarawak representative on the Inland Revenue Board IRB is a right listed in the Intergovernmental Committee report to determine the amount of tax revenue collected from the state.
Only when you are there that you know how much is the revenue nationwide. Only you are there that you know how much Sarawak contribute to the national coffers. So if you know that, then we want a figure, a certain formula, percentage of revenue tax collected Sarawak must be given back to Sarawak based on reasonable formula with the win between the federal government and us. And I think the federal government is about to agree on this.
Abang Johari also reiterated that the state government is also negotiating with the federal government on the formula to determine the annual financial grant for Sarawak as enshrined under Article 112D of the Federal Constitution. With the 15th general election to be called anytime soon, Abang Johari said Sarawak should provide a strong electoral victory to the ruling Gabungan Party Sarawak GPS coalition for a stronger voice in Parliament.
Deputy Premier Dato' Amar Douglas Uga Umbas said full participation by the people in all of its development programs will ensure the continued success of Betong Division Development Agency or PDDA. Uga, who is also its chairman, said without their participation, its development objective would be a fiasco.
PDDA is all about bringing the division overall development and its economic field to the optimum level, to be on par with the other advanced communities. Toward this end, he urged the leaders and government officers from the implementing agencies to do the utmost to convince the people. Uga said in the last 50 years since independence, the government had done much to develop the state in terms of all vital infrastructures, utilities, and amenities, and in the economic sector. On the 1.5 billion ringgit allocation given to BDDA, Uga, who is also Bukit Saban Assemblyman, said all the state constituencies would get 200 million ringgit each, while Lingga would initially get 30 million ringgit. He said this was because only about 10% of the constituency comes under BDDA. He said the balance of 70 million ringgit would be for the common fund. Meanwhile, he said BDDA Administrative Center would be in Betong.
The Portrait of Cheongsam, Timeless Elegance and Legacy event aims to be inducted into the Malaysia Book of Records for the most participants in Cheongsam in an event. Organized by the Kuching South City Council MBKS in collaboration with Sarawak's Federation of Chinese Women Association, it will be held on October 15 for the first time at the MBKS Palmorium Garden and MBKS Community Hall.
So you will see ladies, beautiful ladies with Cheongsam appearing in the city of Kuching for the very first time all throughout Sarawak. All right. So hopefully they can gather more and we will see what is be able to achieve the Malaysia record if it can be achieved.
We pointed out that there will be numerous cultural activities held on October 15. Among the activities are a parade, intercultural sharing sessions, and Cheongsam pageant contest.
They will be put into 3 categories. Category A is traditional. Category B will be fusion and intercultural. And category C will be white swamp. And we also have engaged for children coloring contest and drawing contest also. So it's not only on the Cheongsam per se, but it's also a family bonding activities.
The upcoming event is supported and funded by the Ministry of Tourism, Creative Industry and Performing Arts, in addition to cash sponsor by T. Mortis, Sendirian Berhad.
Road closures and diversions will be set up by the Miri District Police to make way for the 86th birthday celebration of the Yang di-Pertuan Negeri Tun Pehin Sri Abdul Taib Mahmud and the state-level Maulidul Rasul procession, which will be held this month. According to its District Police Chief, ACP Alexan Nagachapu, the road closures involve a total of 3 roads in Miri starting from 8 till 10th October from 5 a.m. to 12 midnight.
Dan di antara jalan-jalan yang terlibat adalah seperti berikut. Yang pertama, Jalan Bintang. Jalan Bintang akan dijadikan sebagai jalan sahala sahaja dan laluan masuk dari Jalan Sukan ke Jalan Bintang akan ditutup. Dan yang kedua adalah Jalan Merdu. Jalan ini akan dijadikan jalan sahala sahaja dan jalan masuk dari Jalan Silvia akan ditutup. Dan yang ketiga adalah Jalan Kampung Sukan. Dan jalan ini akan dijadikan jalan sahala dan laluan masuk dari Jalan Sahati akan ditutup.
Alexan further added that for the state-level Maulidul Rasul procession on October 10, several roads will be affected starting at 6 p.m.
Dalam tempoh 10 Oktober ni, untuk tujuan parakan Maulidul Rasul sebanyak 4 jalan akan ditutup dan 4 jalan lain akan dilencongkan. Jadi di sini saya ingin menasihatkan kepada orang ramai yang ingin menghadiri kedua-dua acara ini, diingatkan untuk meletakkan kenderaan di lokasi-lokasi berikut. Yang pertama adalah tempat letak kenderaan berhampiran dengan SK Bintang dan yang kedua tempat letak kenderaan di Stadium Tertutup Miri.
At the same time, he advised upcoming participants of both events to plan their journey ahead and choose alternative routes to avoid traffic jams during road closures. For inquiries regarding the road closures, a call can be made to the District Traffic Investigation and Enforcement Divisions on the screen shown.
Still to come, the dissolution of Parliament as the Prime Minister's prerogative. Plus, witnesses said tear gas and locked gates led to Indonesian soccer stampede. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned.
Memperkukuh pemulihan, memudah cara pembaharuan ke arah kemampanan daya tahan ekonomi dan kesejahteraan keluarga Malaysia.
Peralihan daripada pemulihan kepada inisiatif pembaharuan
menjadi fokus utama bajet 2023.
Apakah dapatan Sarawak kali ini?
Diskusi bajet 2023 kami kupas dan bincang.
Bersama saya Douglas Elliot.
Saya Syira Abang Mansur.
Hanya di TVS.
Welcome back. Views and opinions of political parties regarding the dissolution of Parliament will not change or influence the Prime Minister's decision-making in advising the Yang di-Pertuan Agong on the matter. Prime Minister Dato Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob stressed that other political parties had no say in the matter and that the decision to propose the dissolution of Parliament is the Prime Minister's prerogative, with the Yang di-Pertuan Agong having the final say.
Additionally, Ismail Sabri said the call from several parties for the dissolution of Parliament not to be announced soon will also not influence him in making his decision. He said the decision to dissolve Parliament should not involve open discussion, citing that past Prime Ministers did not discuss the dissolution of Parliament with their own parties or even opposition parties. Instead, he noted that it should be done only if the Prime Minister feels Parliament should be dissolved. Earlier, Bersatu President and Perikatan Nasional Chairman Muhyiddin Yassin said Ismail Sabri must get the Cabinet's consent to dissolve Parliament, adding that it was based on an early agreement between Ismail and the PN coalition.
The Election Commission EC have made several improvements, including extending the voting time by an hour to allow the public more time to cast their votes in the upcoming 15th general election. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Parliament and Law, Dato Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jafar said this is one of EC's plan to ensure a higher voter turnout in the 15th general election GE15 and among the measures the Commission would take to prevent irregularities.
In a statement, the voting time will be extended starting from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in the Peninsula and 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. in Sabah and Sarawak. Wan Junaidi said the EC would also provide special voting streams for voters aged 60 and above and those with disabilities, adding that these two streams would be limited to 450 people. Following the implementation of Undi 18 and automatic voter registration, he said more polling centers and voting streams would also be added. The Santubong Member of Parliament said several requirements for overseas postal voters have also been repealed. Previously, only those who have lived in or returned to Malaysia for 30 days or more in the past 5 years could apply for postal voting. Those who were living in southern Thailand, Singapore, Brunei or Kalimantan also did not qualify for postal voting and had to come back to vote.
The government will continue to intensify efforts to improve foreign investors' sentiment toward Malaysia by implementing policies that can boost Malaysia's attraction as an exciting investment destination. Finance Minister Tengku Dato Sri Zafrul Abdul Aziz said the government will give more focus on encouraging investments into emerging industries as well as implementing the National Investment Aspirations Framework to attract high-quality investments.
Tengku Zafrul said there is no easy or quick fix for the ringgit's weakness against the US dollar. However, he revealed that PNM uses operational policy instruments to ensure an orderly foreign exchange or forex market. He said that while PNM does not target any exchange rate level, the central bank strives to prevent drastic or extreme changes in the ringgit's value in order to help businesses plan and implement business decisions and investments better. PNM ensures that banking institutions and corporations in Malaysia take prudent measures in dealing with forex risk and safeguarding the ringgit from speculative activities. In addition, he said the central bank implements various initiatives to increase access and attract foreign investors to the bond market, including improving the secondary bond market liquidity, as well as strengthening the structure and liquidity of the forex market.
Now, airlines companies have agreed to increase their domestic flight capacity in line with demand, following discussions with the Ministry of Transport MOT and the Malaysian Aviation Commission or MAVCOM. According to Deputy Transport Minister Datuk Henry Sum Agong, the government had always encouraged national airlines to increase their flight capacity during festive seasons, especially on high-demand routes such as Kuala Lumpur to Cebu, Penang to Cebu, and Johor Bahru to Cebu.
Kementerian senantiasa menggalakkan syarikat-syarikat penerbangan negara untuk meningkatkan kapasiti penerbangan semasa musim-musim perayaan, khususnya di laluan-laluan yang mempunyai permintaan yang tinggi seperti Kuala Lumpur Cebu, Pulau Pinang Cebu dan Johor Bahru Cebu. Walau bagaimanapun, keputusan untuk meningkatkan kekerapan bagi laluan tersebut adalah keputusan komersial yang dibuat oleh Serikat Penerbangan berasaskan kepada daya maju commercial viability laluan.
He was replying to MPs at the Dewan Rakyat on Tuesday, namely Dungun MP Wan Hassan Muhammad Ramli, Kinabatangan MP Dato Sri Panglima Bung Mokhtar Radin, and Lanang MP Alice Lau Kiong Yang. The MPs have asked about the ministry's plan to control and monitor the high domestic flight ticket prices, especially during festive seasons. Henry said the majority of one-way economy class ticket prices for flights to Sabah and Sarawak during the Chinese New Year 2023 festive season were below 400 ringgit based on observations by MAVCOM as of September 14, 2022. Ticket prices for the observation period from January 18 to 26 next year range between 100 and 1,235 ringgit, while for the peak period from January 20th to 21st, prices range between 210 and 1,400 ringgit.
You're watching TVS Nightline. Now, spectators of the ill-fated Indonesian football match claimed that at least 3 exits at Kanjuruhan Stadium were locked on Saturday night. The incident claimed the lives of 125 individuals and more than 400 others injured. And most of the deaths were near the stadium's gate 13, one of the gates that was locked. A witness said panic erupted as they struggled to find the exits.
Authorities said on Tuesday that some exits were locked, but it was unclear who had locked them and why. Comments from spectators, police and experts, as well as video footage, indicate the disaster, among others, include overcrowding of the stadium, angry fans, the firing of tear gas, and the locked exits.
Itu adalah melepaskan gas air mata sehingga membuat panik, di mana gas air mata itu membumbung sampai ke stadion, ke bagian atas dari tempat duduk supporter yang mungkin nggak bersalah, yang mungkin nggak turun ke bawah. Akhirnya membuat panik, sesak napas, mereka kemudian mencari pintu keluar, dan ternyata ada pintu-pintu yang masih dikunci, dan disitulah terjadi chaos. Akhirnya banyak.
Medical personnel said people caught in the crush mostly died from suffocation and head injuries. Officials have also confirmed that 33 minors were among the dead. Meanwhile, Indonesian police on Tuesday said that it had suspended 9 of its officers and vowed to punish those found guilty in relation to the stampede incident, adding that it has opened an internal probe into the actions of the police, which fired tear gas shells into the stands. On a related matter, victims and families demand answers and justice following the deadly stampede. Fatir Ramadan was at the football match watching the game with his 24-year-old cousin, Mita. Now, he mourns for her death.
My cousin was at tribune number 13, the worst hit by the tear gas. Everyone panicked. They did not know where to run, and none of the doors were open. I felt my eyes stinging, and my chest was tight.
Mita was trampled to death amid the chaos, but Fatir survived. But he cannot live in peace until justice is served.
How could this have happened? How can the police allow this to happen? I'm still haunted and traumatized by the cries for help that night. I don't even have the appetite to eat. I hope the police take responsibility for this tragedy.
At a hospital in Malang, many riot victims are under intensive care.
Most of the victims here are suffering from multiple traumas and hypoxia, a lack of oxygen. Some of them are coming 2 days after the incident.
Indonesian President Joko Widodo has ordered to launch an investigation into the matter, but he said the priority right now is providing care and support to the victims still in recovery. The incident is known as one of the worst sporting incidents in the world, and the Indonesian Football Association has suspended all games until a thorough investigation is complete.
With Budget 2023 only 3 days away, what are the expectations and wants of our youth? Tomorrow on Sejahtera Asia, joint host Sharon Kezia and Juzek will be speaking to EXCO member of UNIMAS's Student Representative Council, Muhammad Zul Hazik Muhammad Fazli. 7:45 a.m. only on TVS Astro Channel 122 and My Free View. See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news update, both locally and internationally. More headlines anytime at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media. And that's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. My name is Douglas Elliott. Thank you for watching.